Hi guys, this is Mike and this will be a shootout between 6 different stereo chorus pedals. A little disclaimer before we start, the MXR stereo chorus is my pedal. I really like this pedal, had it for a very long time, but still I will try to be as objective as possible when it comes to the other 5. Right? Okay, so you know what? Let's actually start with the MXR stereo chorus. So this is one of my favorite settings. As you can see, I engaged a little bit of bass boost here, cut the treble a little bit. Rate is on 9 o'clock, and this is how it sounds like clean. Right, so this will basically be our reference sound. The dimension C from Boss is another analog pedal. All of the rest here, I think, are digital. I'm not so sure about the Juliana. Anyways, let's try out the dimension C. Okay, sounds good as well. Okay, so the Gemini or Gemini chorus is an interesting one because it's actually 3 pedals in one. I already did a video about the Source Audio Modulation series, which consists of 3 pedals. So if you are interested in that, please watch that video. But yeah, I reset it to the factory setting and let's see how it sounds. Let's go to the classic. The quad. Okay, so far so good. Let's go to the Juliana, which again, as I mentioned, we don't know actually if it's analog or digital. Seems to cut a lot of highs, even on your clean guitar. Interesting. Yeah, I remember that I tried the Julia a couple of years ago and I was not impressed with that as well. Also, if you listen with headphones, I think the stereo image is actually not that impressive on this pedal. Yeah, okay, so let's quickly try to find a sound that actually sounds nice so we can compare it later on.
A few moments later.
Yeah, sounds pretty, I mean, it does cut the treble a little bit, right? Okay, so the Inspire by Neunaber. Oh, I hate when they do that. They do that on the source audio chorus as well, that the tone not only affects the chorus sound, but also your clean guitar sound. I have no idea why they would do that. On this pedal, for example, the bass and the treble control only affect the chorus sound. And the same is true on the Corona. Okay, and now, so for the last pedal, the Corona Chorus, which of course has the tone print option here in the middle, so you can download a tone print or make your own tone print and save it there. But let's try the standard factory chorus setting and then the tree chorus. Yeah, okay, but that is not stereo. That is actually mono. Let's try the third option. Oh, okay, so the third option, the tree chorus, is stereo. Yeah, so I really like when a pedal has analog drive-through, so it leaves your clean signal untouched and just adds the effect on top of that, right? Okay, so I would say we're pretty much set up. Let's make a quick comparison round. Okay, so first impressions or first thoughts are basically really like the sound of the stereo chorus by MXR. Dimension C sounds nice, a little bit darker I feel, a little bit moodier, more atmospheric, definitely analog. Yeah, the Juliana sounds analog as well, mainly because it cuts the highs so much, I guess. It does have a color, I would say. You know, if this would be a tube gear, people would say it has color. You just have to like the color. I happen to don't like this color. The Inspire sounds perfectly nice in my opinion, but the real winner up until now is, I feel, the TC Electronics Corona, because it's pretty versatile and it's dirt cheap. It's cheaper than all of these pedals actually. And you have the tone print, which by the way I didn't show you. I downloaded, I think it was a tone print from Sweetwater. Did I mention M? I think it's called. Let's listen to that quickly. Yeah, it's pretty interesting what these pedals do to your stereo image as well. I feel the stereo chorus has a really nice and white stereo image. The Dimension C has a pretty more narrow stereo spread or stereo width. The Gemini chorus, I feel they dropped the ball on this one simply because it's so, low in volume. From the get-go, I mean, you can set all those things up, but again, I'm talking about all the pros and cons of these pedals, of these modulation pedals from Source Audio in another video. And yeah, the Corona chorus also sounds pretty wide, but again, I think the widest sounding pedal is actually the old MXR stereo chorus. Let's try something else. Let's actually try to use a stereo pedal in front of these pedals. I'll take my Boss DM101 analog delay pedal here. Of course, we cannot use this pedal for this test because that's the only pedal that only has a mono input, but all the other ones should be good to go. And yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so the Boss DM101 is in the house. And by the way, you might wonder why or who on earth would ever put a delay pedal in front of a chorus pedal, but that's actually not the point of this test. Because, all of these pedals are actually, they are supposed to be stereo pedals and they all have stereo inputs. But there's not a lot of things that I hate as much as when a supposedly stereo pedal sums the incoming signal to a mono signal, right? Because that's kind of like cheating. Why have a beautiful sounding delay or let's say phaser or what have you in stereo in front of these pedals when it gets summed to mono? That makes no sense, and that is actually the worst kind of cheating in my opinion and should be punished by law. Well, anyways, I set this pedal to a ping pong setting without any modulation. So listen with headphones. It should start on the right side and then jump to the left and back and forth, right? Yes, so it does. Let's see what the Dimension C does with your stereo signal. That's interesting. I actually feel that the left side is perfectly kept intact, but the right side is kind of like more to the middle, or is that just my imagination? Oh, wow. Oh, okay, so if you're listening with headphones, that's interesting. So in this mode, it keeps the stereo signal intact, but in the second mode, it actually really, it almost sounds like it turns it into mono. Jesus. Why? Okay, that's interesting. Why would they do that? Okay, let's go to the Gemini chorus. Yeah, so as you can hear, pretty much leaves the stereo width intact. Let's go to the Juliana. Yeah, that sounds pretty much okay. Except that it immediately cuts your highs. Okay, let's go to the Inspire. Oh, wow. No, why? So, as you can hear, that's funny. Why would they do that? Okay, so on all of these settings or sound modes, as soon as you turn the mix up, then the more narrow your stereo signal, your incoming stereo signal gets. Right? So that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I mean, even the all analog Dimension C managed to do that. Wow. So that's for me a reason to immediately return this thing. Yeah, but let's go to the Corona chorus. Here's hoping this will be better. Yeah, this definitely leaves your stereo signal completely intact, right? Yeah, so a lot of food for thought here. We couldn't do this test on the MXR stereo chorus because it only has one input. But let's talk about my conclusion and my final words. Yeah, I mean, the MXR stereo chorus remains my favorite, even if this exemplar, this unit here, is pretty old and actually has very wobbly knobs, but I'm still going to keep it. And if it breaks, I'll just buy a new one. I do like the Dimension C. I do like it, but I feel it still sounds better. The Gemini chorus, I feel, yeah, I'm not a fan of these source audio modulation pedals, although I do like their Nemesis delay. Juliana is too much of a sound changer, tone changer, in my opinion. It changes too much of your clean guitar. The Inspire is pretty good, except that it sums the incoming stereo signal to a mono signal the more you turn up the mix, right? So that's annoying. And yeah, except for the MXR, the winner in my book is the Corona chorus. And yeah, so that's basically it, guys. I hope you liked this video. Please leave a comment what pedals you liked. And yeah, have a good one. See you next time. Bye.
With two eyes.